Hey there, welcome to my channel. I'm Erin and today is #Friday Sews. So I'm going to talk about what I did this week, what my plans are for next week, and a little bit about life. Thank you as always to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for starting #Friday Sews. It's a great way for the sewing community here on YouTube to get together and virtually talk about everything we have going on. I am outside on my back porch today, so we're probably going to have to contend with some ambient noise. To include planes, we're right under the departure corridor for a nearby airfield. Here comes another one. Starting with what I finished this week, you can see I'm wearing McCall's 7360, which I talked about last week. I finished it up over the weekend. I did view A, which is a little bit shorter of a hem than the others. It's just a Mrs. Henley top. I am really pleased with how it turned out. I did make some adjustments, so I cut a size 14 out of this shirting from Joann's. I moved the darts down about an inch. They were just definitely too high on me when I first did it. That does seem to be a common adjustment I'm just going to have to make from the get with big 4 patterns, is moving the darts down an inch, half an inch or an inch should be good. The sleeve was too small. I do have pretty big arms. That's where I have trouble fitting in like ready to wear clothing. So I just used a smaller seam allowance. I used about a 1/2 inch seam allowance, which was just enough to give me space to move. I would have been able to get it on with a standard seam allowance, but it wouldn't have been comfortable. I did that. The collar kicked my butt. So the other thing I did is when I first got the placket and everything put in, it was really high. Before I even attached the collar, it was like up here. So I shaved it down about a 1/2 inch on each side and then attached the collar. As you can see, it's not symmetrical, so I might take that out and fix it. I'm gonna wash it first, see how everything kind of flushes out, but I will probably unpick this and then make the collar more symmetrical because it just kind of bugs me. I really like how this one turned out, the curve there, but the collar kicked my butt. I did use Alex Mason from Mason Lifestyle. She has a sew along for this shirt. She did view C on her sew along, and that was really helpful for the collar. One thing she did warn about in that is that the collar piece is a little too long. When you pin it to the neck of the shirt, it like comes too far over. So that's kind of where this asymmetry ended up happening, I think, because I had to kind of redraw the line and restitch it and cut it because of that length being too long. And something to know going in next time, I can kind of plan ahead for that because I didn't look up and find her sew along until I was at the collar and I was super frustrated by it. Yeah, collar kicked my butt. Overall though, I'm really happy with it. I was crawling around earlier with my daughter and doing a lot of like, rawr, and there's tons of space for me to move around, and the top, like shoulders and arms, are usually where shirts are too tight on me. So it worked out really well. I will take a clip of myself wearing it standing up and insert it so that you can see the whole shirt, how it fits. The other thing I want to see when this washes, besides possibly unpicking the collar and redoing it, is this button kind of pulls a little. I think it's because I didn't use a thread shank when I put the buttons on. Well, I did the first time and the buttons were like falling off. They were way too loose. So I think I just need to use something smaller as a thread shank because I think that's the cause of the tugging. It's definitely not too tight across my bust or anything. And when you unbutton it, like, it lays fine. So I think it's just that the button is on too tight and that's what's causing it to pull. So after it comes out of the wash and I see kind of how everything lays out, I will probably redo that one. This one seems fine, and these I will probably never actually button. So really just this one. You can see right there how it pulls. But that is probably another adjustment I will make on this shirt. The next thing I finished was 2 quilt tops, so they are identical. I'll probably just put a video in, but they are 3 feet by 3 feet, just baby / crib size. Crib quilts aren't really a thing anymore, at least in America. You are not supposed to put blankets in with babies under a year old, but these quilts are still great for like tummy time, travel, keeping cozy in the stroller, things like that. A 3 by 3 is a really good size for that. So I just made 2 from a jelly roll. It's Unruly Nature by Jen Hewitt for Ruby Star Society, and I think it's super cute. It has some really fun patterns, but those came together really quickly, really easily, which was exactly what I wanted. So I finished 2 of those, and I'm gonna probably finish them up this weekend. I also worked on my butterick dress. It's B6351. I'm doing view B with the hemband. It's really pretty. They all have this tulip back. That's really cool. I am inserting a zipper across the bust. Putting the invisible zipper in actually went just fine, but there are some other issues that I'm gonna have to work on. I have a clip of myself wearing it, kind of talking about those issues, that I'll insert here. Okay, here is the progress on my butterick dress. As you can see, it is way too wide. It doesn't help that there's a zipper in there, kind of making it poke out more. I cut an 18. I could definitely do a 16. So when I redo it, I will at least go down to a 16, maybe a 14. I don't know. And then I did get the invisible zipper put in. I think turned out really well for the most part. A little gap here, but I'll be able to fix that when I redo it also. I did want the zipper to end kind of up here in my armpit. I will also do a better job matching because I don't want it to be super noticeable. Obviously, I want it to be invisible and hidden, but overall, the zipper was fine. It's just a little too wide, and then it feels short also. I don't know, now that I look at it on camera, it doesn't seem quite so short, but I don't know. I might cut it a little longer and then kind of trim it up as needed. Here is the zipper opened up. It was too hard to do one-handed. It feels a little too high. It's hard to tell because I put this black tank top on for modesty reasons, but it's a little too high. It doesn't go quite across my apex, I guess. I would rather have it be a little long though, and I can just pull it up than have it a little short. So I will also, when I cut it, probably scooch this part down so that the stripes are a little further down, if that makes sense. And then the zipper can be more towards the bottom of my bust, which I just think would be a little more comfortable. So I'm gonna be reworking the bodice and everything, definitely cutting a smaller size, playing around with that length and everything, but putting the zipper in was surprisingly easy. I've done zippers. I have not done an invisible zipper like that. I've only done zippers for actual closure before. So that was a lot easier than I thought it would be. I don't know why I was worried about it. But that brings me to what I'm gonna be working on this coming week. I'm going to continue to work on that dress, definitely rework the bodice at least, so that I can have that done, because I think the rest will come together somewhat easily. Yeah, it says easy. I looked through the instructions, it does seem pretty easy, so I'm not too worried about the rest of it coming together. It's just figuring out that the zipper and the sizing situation for it. The other thing I'm going to do is finish the quilts. I already have the flannel I want to use on the back. Oh, now it has dog hair on it. Just a navy blue. I think it'll go nicely because there's some navy in there. I have this more of a royal blue with these really light polka dots for the binding. You're only gonna see, you know, this much of it. But it is different enough from the flannel for the back that I don't think it'll look like I tried to match and failed. Like, it's very intentionally different, but still ties in since the quilt has so many blues in it. And then in terms of quilting, my plan is there's this pattern in a couple colors throughout the quilt, these kind of loopy scribbles. There's another one in pink. So I am going to recreate that really large scale over the whole quilt, just do kind of big loops throughout it. And then I have this really pretty like, teal thread from another project I did a while ago that I think would be a really cool pop of color. I also have a hot pink magenta that might work too. I'll have to look at both of those and see which one I land on. Where was I? Indie patterns. But I do want to make some more. I went on a spree sort of a couple months ago and downloaded a bunch of free patterns that I liked. So I have the York top already downloaded. I need to print it out. So I might also plan on making that. It's a really simple top. I'll insert a picture here. That is very much my style. Finally, I want to work on, now it's buried, Simplicity 8894. This little romper pattern for babies. I was watching Who's Your Handmaid's latest video. Her name's Tiffany. Her channel's Who's Your Handmaid. I will put the video that I'm talking about up here and then her channel down in the description. But she is doing a series on sewing with knits. And her latest video was tools for success when sewing with knits. But her big message in this series is like, just try it and practice. Like, practice, practice, practice. And you know, just try different things out and find what works for you. I had started this. It's a double brushed poly from Joann's The Pop collection for basically for kids. And I just got so frustrated with it. I did this a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. And I mean, I was trying to do something quickly and I was being lazy. I'll be honest, I didn't even use a contrasting thread. So I kind of want to rip all of this out and just kind of restart it. But watching her video inspired me, as was her intention, inspired me to pull this back out and use some of her tips and her tools for success to finish it. And even if it's not the greatest result ever, it's for a baby. She doesn't care. She gets food on everything anyway. So even if it's not perfect, it's definitely, if I can get it done, it will be wearable and it will function. So I think I'm gonna spend a little time working on this too. So thank you, Tiffany, for inspiring me. Lastly, we're just gonna talk about life really fast, nothing too crazy. Our air conditioning is still broken, so it is still very hot in our house all of the time. Hopefully I will get a call today that the part is in. Probably not. The other thing I just wanted to tell people about, I guess, is check your library for games and boxes you can check out. So I've not seen this at a library before, but my local library does have the murder mystery in a box type games. I'll put some pictures of examples that you can check out. And my husband and I love them. We are gifted them a lot. We actually just donated 3 or 4 to the library because they said they're really hard for them to procure through their traditional funding methods. So we donated a couple that we had done but not marked up on at all. And they have these boxes that you can get with all of the mystery stuff in it, all of the clues, and you check it out and get to do it. So I actually have one that I put on hold that is ready to pick up. When my daughter gets up from her nap, we're gonna go get that and my husband and I can play it tonight. So it makes for a fun, kind of different date night at home type of thing. Just a different activity to do together, especially if you and your partner or you and the members of your family really like playing games and things like that. They are single use and they're pretty expensive. We don't generally buy them ourselves unless it's kind of for a special occasion, but we are gifted them, which is super kind of people. They can be like $30, and like I said, it's single time use. Once you solve the mystery, the mystery's done. So just something, check your library. I've heard of other libraries that have like long arm quilting machines or 3D printers. Ours also has these boxes for all different ages. I check out they're called baby booster boxes, but they have a couple toys, a couple board books, a couple like soft plush things usually that are all within a theme. And then in the box, there's also a folder that'll have like nursery rhymes that go with the theme or activities you can do with your kid to go with the theme. For older children, they have STEM themed boxes that have different experiments they can do. They have crafting bags that are kind of just like kits, and they refill them, which is awesome. So if it'll have like colored pencils or yarn or something like that, they refill them between uses so that people can try something new, which I think is just such a cool way to sample a new hobby or a new activity or get your kids interested in something different, especially now that we're in the summer and people aren't in school. You might be looking for some activities to do with your kids or with other members of your family. So just check your library. They have way more than just books. This weekend, my husband works, but it is his last weekend working for hopefully many years. So we go have lunch with him when he works on the weekends. We'll do that, and then that's about it. No crazy fun plans, just kind of hanging out and enjoying time together as a family. That does it for this episode of Friday Sews. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe so that you can see some more and give it a thumbs up. Also, comment down below what you think of my plans, what you would do differently. Tell me what you're working on. If you're also a creator, I would love to check out your channel. So just leave a comment below that you have a Friday Sews this week too, or other ones you've done, because I would love to go watch those. I put them on while I'm sewing and it feels like I'm sewing with friends. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.